Good evening and welcome out to tonight's tackle trading onboarding webinar. Coach Frank here. I'll be taking you through the website this evening, show you around tackle trading, let you know a little bit about us, what we're doing, when we're doing it, where you can find it. Hopefully, so as you get to know us better, you can use the platform in the best way you can. So we'll dive right into it here this evening. Really, all tackle trading really is a bunch of traders that have come together to share ideas, help each other out, navigate the markets together, right? I mean, that's really what it is to me. However, when I'm explaining tackle trading, I do like to break it down into three parts. The first part is the things that you can do on your own, courses, blogs, some of our tools, our trade journals, and things like that. Then things that you can do with others, aka the schedule. And lastly, our weekend reports where we can share some ideas with our team going into the upcoming trading week. And so that'll be kind of the way that we come at it here this evening as well. So let's dive right into it. Let's start with that first bucket, if you will, and things that you can do on your own. We do have a variety of courses available to all of our pro members, including the 7-step guide to trading. This is an introductory level course, kind of designed to do a couple things. Number one, get you a routine going. If you've been a trader for a while, you know how important routine is, and you probably also remember when you were a new trader, it was hard to get a good routine, right? So that'll be a big part of it. It'll introduce you to the tackle trading way as well. No two traders are the same, but I think collectively, we have a similar approach to the markets here at tackle trading, from starting with that top-down analysis, what's going on in the indexes, into the sectors, commodities, right, and then into individual stocks. How do we choose our strategy? We're big watch list traders. So how do we find and build that watch list and manage that watch list? Of course, planning, placing, and managing the trade, and also journaling the trade. So it'll help you kind of get to know, I guess, the tackle trading approach to the markets as well. In particular, if you're a newer trader, I think you'll find it very, very useful. But even if you're a veteran, there might be one or two things in there that makes your routine a little bit smoother, I would hope. Of course, as traders, we're going to be doing a heck of a lot of technical analysis, right? Charts, and more charts is going to be a big part of the things that we're doing. And that's true whether we're day traders, swing traders, cash flow traders, like to trade crypto, like to trade options, whatever we like to trade, we're going to be using technical analysis. So the better we understand that, probably the better everything else is going to be as well, right? And so, over that technical analysis course, it'll just be charts and more charts, right? Support, resistance, trend, momentum, reversals, patterns, candlesticks, right? The whole 9 yards. Over in the Options 101 course, we're really going to focus on what happens when you buy or sell that contract. And we're not going to talk a ton about strategies. I'll show you where you can find that here shortly. But we're going to talk about the factors that are moving that contract, right? Options, they're not like stock in the sense that 20 is 20, right? Today, tomorrow, and next week, right? If you buy a stock today for $20, as long as you sell it for more than $20, eventually you made a profit, right? Whether it's a minute, an hour, a day, a week, a month, a year, it would be a profit. But there are other factors going on with options that we need to understand if we're going to be option traders. And those are really going to be the things that we focus on over in that Options 101 course. If you've ever had interest in learning more about either the futures or the Forex markets, but not been quite sure where to start, we offer introduction courses into them to all of our pro members as well. I know not everybody wants to trade in those markets, and quite frankly, that's fine with me. We don't have to trade, anything we don't want to. But I also know, as a trader throughout the years, I remember when I first learned of futures, I figured it was well beyond what I was capable of. And I've worked with a lot of people who felt similar with those markets before it, and that shouldn't be the case. We can certainly trade in those markets if that's something that we want to do. There's things we need to understand about them for sure, but it's not too big for us by any stretch of the imagination. So if you find yourself with an interest in either or both of those markets, certainly a great place to start. Regardless of what you like to trade, what your time frames are, we all want to make sure we have clearly designed systems and rules in place, right? The system development course is really designed to help train you to approach your trading from that systematic perspective. I think we all know how important that stuff is. I've talked to a lot of traders in my life, and no one's ever said, you don't need plans, you don't need rules. But it's one thing to say it, and it can be difficult to get it up and running, right? And so the system development course should really help you along on that path. I cannot recommend this one enough, whether you're new trader, veteran trader, just like to trade crypto, just like to trade options, whatever kind of trader you are and whatever your experience level is, I cannot recommend that system development course enough. I think you will very much enjoy it and get something out of it, no matter who you are and where you are in this process. You'll also notice that we have a handful of premium products here. These are premium systems. What they are is a fully fleshed out system. They are a one-time purchase. The system is yours for life. We get together with members of each of those teams once a month in a mastermind group, just so you know a little bit more about them, and you can find more information in the store tab, or you can send us an email at team@Tackle Trading if you would like more info. But just so you know what they are, the Tackle 25 is a covered call-based system on a select group of stocks that we put together each year with the intent of cash flowing via covered calls. The STEP system is our swing trading approach to the market, just stands for stop loss, target, entry, and position size. Cash flow condor is another cash flow system, this time on the Russell 2000, and bear market survival guide, kind of exactly what it sounds like, right? Dealing with shifts in that volatility and dealing with that type of a market when we get into it. Again, if you'd like more information on any of these, you can find it over in the store tab. These are for premium systems. We'll talk a little bit more about them in a minute, just bring them up. That's going to kind of wrap up the courses, but not everything has to be a course. We do regular blog content, both in written and in video form, whether it's more charting and the tales of a technician, more kind of starting from the ground up over in the rookie corner, options and the option theory, hearing from our awesome female traders in the Women in Trading blog. These are things that we can do throughout the week that, just another way to share ideas, answer questions to members of our team. They'll be relatively short reads, relatively short videos, but just additional ways that we can interact with our team during the trading week. Over in the Trade Center, you'll find a link to our clubhouse, our glossary, our trading journals. We'll talk about them a little bit more before we're done here, as well as a link to the Tackle Trading Playbook. Here's where you're going to find all of our strategies and the rules for those strategies. We break our playbook into 3 core parts based off of the option Greeks, Delta, Theta, and Vega. So our Delta is our directional playbook, right? I think the stock's going from 50 to 55, from 100 to 90, from point A to point B, right? So that would include, of course, buying or selling stock. It would also include long options, long calls, long puts, debit spreads, bull call, bear puts, diagonal spreads, basically movement-based strategies. Then you have the Theta or the cash flow playbook. Great thing about options is we can sell them and bring in that premium. So that's going to be those covered calls. That's going to be naked puts. That's going to be credit spreads and iron condors and the like. I would say as a whole, we are big fans of cash flowing here at Tackle Trading. And then lastly, the Vega or the volatility playbook. I'm playing the expected volatility of the stock. It's got an earnings report coming up. Usually they move a lot on earnings, sometimes up, sometimes down. There's no way for me to know which way they're going to move this time. But if history, is an indicator, they're probably going to move a lot one way or the other. Let's build a trade that profits as long as they move big one way or the other, up or down, right? So those type of trades you'll find in the Vega or the volatility playbook, straddles and strangles and whatnot. In each of these, you'll find a detailed video going over, what the strategy is, why we would choose the strategy, what does the risk reward profile of the strategy look like, walking through the whole process, why would we choose the strategy, all of that fun stuff. There's also a little downloadable PDF cheat sheet, if you will, so you have easy access to the rules for those strategies. You'll also notice that on all of them, we have anywhere from a 0 to a plus or a -3. And if you kind of just think about it as, 0 is flat neutral, +1 would be slightly bullish, -1 would be slightly bearish, 2 or -2 would be, bullish or bearish, and then 3 or -3 would be very bullish or very bearish. We always want to match the strategy to the situation, right? And this is just kind of where we see these strategies fitting along that spectrum, if you will. So that is the Tackle Trading Playbook. If you go directly into the Trade Center, it'll kind of bring you to a What's Up at Tackle Trading page. What's the next show that we're doing, our most recent posts, a little watch list that you can build out for yourself. If you would like to do so, you would just, add whatever you wanted to add. So you wanted to add Caterpillar to your watch list here. Now I'm just going to hit that little plus button and Cat will be added to my watch list. If I decide I don't need it anymore, I can just select it within this watch list itself and hit that minus button. That'll get rid of it for me. I mean, most of us are going to do our primary watch listing and, wherever we're doing our primary technical analysis, many of us through our brokers, but it is nice to be able to have just an easy place to quickly take a peek at your watch list. If you are interested, you can do that in here as well. There'll be a replay or a live showing of one of our YouTube shows, where you are in any of the courses that you're taking, so you can pick right back up where you left off. Little mini calendar for the, what does the immediate future look like here at Tackle Trading? So really just kind of a what's up at Tackle Trading page. It really is when you come directly into the Trade Center. You'll find a couple other tools in here as well. You'll find the market Skyline in here. This is just where we're going to have all of the big stuff, that top-down analysis, right? So we're going to have all of the index futures, the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the RUT. We're going to have Bitcoin, the VIX, the emerging markets and all world ETFs, the major commodities like gold and silver and copper and crude and whatnot, the sector Spyder ETFs. This is all a big part of that daily routine, that top-down analysis, right? I think we should all be going through this stuff on a daily basis as traders. It doesn't have to be on this page, but we wanted to make sure that we had just an easy one-stop shop, if you will. There's also a link to the FinViz heat maps in here. This will just bring you over to finviz.com to their heat map for the S&P 500 for the day. Just a quick visual of, what was standing out today, right? Another good day in energy, not such a great day in healthcare, right? I saw some nice movement in some of the financials, services companies here today, but not such a great movement over in the software side of things, right? Just another way to generate ideas, just a little bit of a different visual than, say, looking at a chart. A little customization in here as well. You can change it from one day to a weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly performance. Look at certain fundamental ratios, how it performed on its earnings date. So a lot of things that you can do there in that FinViz heat map. So that link will take you over to finviz.com. You'll also find a news aggregator. This is going to just go through some of the bigger financial websites, CNBC, Wall Street Journal, as you can see, the Times, Market Watch is probably down here somewhere as well. They'll tend to be the big four. Just kind of get all of these headlines kind of in one spot so I can easily kind of scroll through and catch things that are actually interesting to me, right? Just really to save some time. I could, read these directly at the website, or, plenty of other ways to do that, but just to save some time, right? If I'm not interested in cutting edge crypto coins tout stability, then I'm not interested in it, right? You might be. That's great, right? So just want to be able to make it fast and easy on ourselves. Find a link to the economic calendar so you can see what's on the economic docket for the day or for the week that can impact your trading. Another link to our market reports, which you'll find on the drop down, we'll talk about shortly. You'll find a link to our trade journals in here as well. If you recall, you can catch them in the drop down of the Trade Center. But if you do come into them through the Trade Center like we just did, it will take you directly to the tutorial. If you need some help using it, there's no shame in that by any means. The tutorial was very helpful when I, shifted from my old journals to the tackle trading journals. It was helpful to have some help. So we have 3 different trade journals. We have the trade journal, probably exactly what you're thinking about, where we can track what we did, when we did it, how much of it we did, and then it's going to kind of do the rest for us. Hey, what did we gain or lose? How long are we're in the trade? How long on average are we in our trades? What does our average winning trade make us? What does our average losing trade cost us? Or overall percentage, the bottom line, all of that fun stuff, right? Journaling is such an important part because every single trade that we make is data if we allow it to be so, right? We just need to have it all in one place so we can process that data. We also have the data research tool where we can build out and fairly compare cash flow trades against one another. Say you've got 4 candidates and you're looking at doing a bull put spread tonight, but you only want to do it on 2 of them. Well, how do we pick which 2, right? How do we compare them fairly? The data research tool will do a very good job in helping you do just that for all of those different cash flowing trades, credit spreads, naked puts, covered calls, whole 9 yards. And then lastly, the portfolio journal, just kind of help you keep organized where you are in your overall portfolio. Sometimes some people have lots of trades, some people just have a few, but if you start getting, too many, and I'll put that in quotation marks because there's not a right number, it can get a little overwhelming. We do need to know where we are, right? So in any of these, you'll just select the journal that you want, smack the download button, and you'll have access to that journaling your trades is such an important part of the process. I hope you're already doing it. If not, no time like the present, right? You'll find a link to the compounding gains calculator just to show the compounding powers of money, a chart if you ever need one, another link to our glossary, which you can find in that drop down, link to our search, which you can also find in this magnifying glass. And the search function is pretty smart, in my opinion, at least here at Tackle Trading. So if you're ever looking for more information on a particular strategy, say you want more uncovered calls or whatever, just a quick search will probably bring up a lot of things that could be helpful for you. So never hesitate to reach out and ask us, send us an email or hit us up in Discord or whatever. But a lot of times the fastest way to do it is just a quick search. It can got lots of content in there. So just a few things that you can find over here in the Trade Center. Let's kind of shift gears into the schedule now, things that you can do with others. Let's kind of start with the average trading day, right? Every market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, we get together with the team in our Traders Lounge right here at Tackle Trading. Pretty informal. We just get together with the team and we just talk trading. We answer questions. We go where our team needs us to go. So maybe you've got a trade setup you want to get some feedback on. Maybe you're in a trade and you want to bounce some management ideas around. Maybe you're struggling with an option strategy and it'd be helpful to kind of walk through it from top to bottom, right? Maybe you aren't quite sure how to roll your covered call and it would be helpful to have someone show you how to do it. I mean, who knows what our questions are, right? But I do know we all have them from time to time, and there's no shame in that. We need to have a place where we can address them. And that's exactly what we're doing every market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern in our Traders Lounge. That'll go for an hour. You're always welcome. Your questions are always welcome. Everybody here is cool and on the same page. So don't feel like your question is too basic or advanced. Anything goes in there. If you need some help, or if you just want to come in and hang around, I find some good trade ideas. Usually I'm just kind of in the background listening. And, I've stolen a few trade ideas. I'm not ashamed to admit it in there. So that is the Traders Lounge. 11 a.m. Eastern every market morning. Shortly after the lounge, we're going to head over to our YouTube channel at 12:30 p.m. Eastern for the Tackle Trading Halftime Report, live looking at the market, where we're basically going through that top-down analysis, right? What's going on in the news today, how it's impacting our charts and the indexes, sectors, commodities, stocks in the news, really going through that daily routine. That's live right here on our YouTube channel every market day at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. So every single day, be at the lounge in the morning here at Tackle Trading. We're over on our YouTube channel for the halftime report. We will be working the markets with the team each and every trading day. Then we have our evening shows, starting with our Tuesday night show at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We do our coaches show. I would consider this the flagship show of Tackle Trading. What I love about it is there's so many things that we can talk about in trading, right? Whether it's particular pattern, particular strategy, particular indicator, daily routine, hedging. I mean, a million things, right? So, and the coaches show allows us to take one of those things and have an in-depth conversation on it, right? And that's what's so fun and I think valuable about that show is we can take that deeper dive into just one subject. It's a lot of fun. It's live Tuesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It is recorded and archived, so if you can't make it live or if you need to rewatch it or if you want to watch an episode from a month ago on a subject that you find interesting, very easy to find there in the archives. On Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we do our Cash Flow Club. It's a little more narrowly focused than the Coaches Show, as the name might suggest, really just going to be focusing on those cash flow strategies, right? Building and managing those cash flow plays, those covered calls, those credit spreads, those condors, those naked puts, right? Really going to take that and really have that as the focus on Thursday nights. Just like the Coaches Show, it's live, it's recorded, archived, easy to find there if you can't make it live or if you need to revisit a subject. On Monday night, we tend to meet up with one of the members of our premium systems, right? Earlier, I said once a month we get together with members of each of these teams in a mastermind group. We do tend to do that on Monday nights here at Tackle Trading. We invite all of our pro members to join us in those mastermind groups. You do not have to have purchased the Tackle 25 to join the Tackle 25 mastermind group or the Step System group or whatever the case might be. We invite all of our pro members to join and enjoy, listen in, learn, see if the system's something they want to look more into. So do be aware that you are always welcome as a pro member. Whether or not you've picked up that system is irrelevant as far as that is concerned. I also do this webinar on Monday nights, just walking people who are new to tackle trading or maybe checking us out for the first time through the site, hopefully helping them get to know us a little bit better. No two are tremendously different from one another, though. So they're usually very, very similar. We also tend to, about every other Monday, do a YouTube webinar. Plan on doing one, I believe, next Monday on the 7-step guide to trading. So definitely worth bookmarking on the YouTube channel. It tends to be about every other week that we do that. But we do like to make sure that our YouTube community is taken care of as well. We want to make sure that we're reaching out to as many of our team members as we possibly can, whether they're pro members or not. So keep an eye out on that one, but it does tend to be about every other Monday where we are doing that YouTube webinar on Monday nights. On Wednesday nights, I'm going to come into the events calendar. We are doing two things right here on the YouTube channel at 7 Eastern. We're doing our Trade Masters webinar, where a couple of the coaches will get together with 3 different trade ideas: a delta trade, a theta trade, and a wild card trade. They'll bounce them off one another, and members of our community in the chat, our community will vote each round on whose trade idea they liked the best. And when it's all said and done, the winner is the trade master for the week. It's a lot of fun. And what it's really designed to do is just to share ideas, right? You know, as watch list traders, sometimes by Wednesday night, Wednesday after the market is closed, you need to tidy up that watch list a little bit, right? There's never a bad way to find a trade idea. It's a lot of fun. Certainly happy to have you and love to see you in that Trade Masters webinar, 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday night. Then shortly after that, we're going to head back over to Tackle Trading for our Wednesday night Traders Lounge at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be very similar to our morning trading lounge, with the exception of we're just coming out of the Trade Masters webinar. And so we've got some fresh ideas, and if members of our team or community want to, you know, take a deeper dive into any one of those, price out a few different things, whatever the case might be, we're certainly happy to do that as well. I know not everybody is available at 11 a.m. Eastern Monday through Friday, right? And we all do need a place to have our questions answered. So maybe you're at work, but maybe you can get into that Wednesday night lounge and get help if you need it, or just hang around with some really cool traders. That works as well. So that is what Wednesday night is going to look like. 7 p.m. On our YouTube channel, 7 Eastern for the Trade Masters webinar, 8:30 p.m. Eastern back over at Tackle Trading for that Wednesday night lounge. We also have a tremendous team of female traders with us here at Tackle Trading, and they get together about once a month in their Women in Trading Mastermind group. I cannot tell you exactly what happens there. I have no doubt that they're having a lot of fun and they're getting some good work done. But I don't know for sure exactly what that looks like, because I am not a woman in trading, and that is okay. If you are a woman in trading, or if you know a woman in trading, I would definitely take part in that. Coach M and the awesome ladies of Tackle Trading are fantastic people, great traders, fun to be around, and lots to learn from them. We actually have one coming up this week here on the 22nd, as you can kind of see here in this event calendar. So I would definitely mark the calendar for that one. Fellas, I'm sorry, like me, you'll have to find something else to do that day, but that's all right. Well, the ladies can have that one, and I have no doubt they're having a lot of fun in there without us. So do keep an eye out on that. It does tend to be about once a month. We'll make sure to promote it, so you know, as it's getting closer, you know that it is on its way. So that is kind of the schedule, and kind of an overly simplified way to think about it is the morning lounge is really all about our team and what they need today, right? Whatever that might mean. The halftime report is really about the daily routine, and then the evening shows are really about kind of teaching. And there is definitely some gray area, right? There's going to be crossover in all of the shows, I would say. But as you're kind of getting to know us, that might be able to keep it a little bit more organized. We'll keep you busy. We do a lot of content every single week. We invite our pro members to join us in all of it, but we don't expect that of you. You know, I always tell people, don't be afraid to build your own tackle trading. You don't have to be in every show that we're doing. You are more than welcome to be. We love to see you, but we also understand that life is life and schedules are schedules, right? So don't be afraid to build your own tackle trading and have your own priorities and things of that nature. On Fridays, you'll notice here, we do what we call our scouting report meeting. And all the coaches, we get together as the market's winding down for the week. We rank the market, we talk markets, we talk sectors, we talk commodities, we talk trade setups in what we call our scouting report meeting. And out of that scouting report meeting comes our weekend reports, our newsletter, stock option, and commodity reports. We get these delivered to our team by Saturday afternoon, so they have plenty of time to go through any or all of them before the market is back up and running. Let's start with the Tackle newsletter. Again, the first step in the 7-step guide to trading is start at the top of the markets. That is a core belief here at Tackle Trading, and that's exactly what we're doing each week with Coach Gino in the Tackle newsletter. He does a great job of kind of letting, hey, there he is hiding out in an egg, right? So he does a great job kind of giving a quick recap of the week that was, right? What was the news that was moving the market? How did it impact the charts? All of that fun stuff. Get a look ahead, talk a little bit about the sectors, look ahead to the upcoming earnings announcements, the economic calendar coming into the week. Of course, have a video kind of talking you through all of this stuff, where the overall market is, the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell. Take a look at the internal indicators, right? So we can kind of take a look at, under the hood of the market, if you will, a little bit. That's going to look at over 8,000 stocks to help us get a better idea of how the overall market is performing, not just the S&P 500, for example. We're also going to rank the sectors each week based off of what we're seeing on the stocks within these sectors. I always like to take a second, kind of explain how this works. You're going to notice that we rank them based off of the sector Spyder ETFs. So if you're not familiar with the sector Spyder ETFs, you can get a lot more familiar about them by going to the ETF provider's website, just sectorspdr.com. But in a nutshell, these are ETFs that are going to come out of the S&P 500. So XLE, for example, our highest rated sector right now at Tackle Trading is the energy sector. XLE is the energy sector ETF. This is going to go into the S&P 500, pull out just the stocks that are in the energy sector, weighted accordingly because it is coming out of the S&P 500. So these are going to be weighted. Bigger companies are going to have more representation, right? And gives us a better look at just the energy sector, right? Versus, say, just the communication sector. Those are two very different looking charts, right? One is very strong, one is not so strong, right? So it's given us a more isolated look at these on a sector by sector basis. These are ETFs, of course, meaning they're tradable through shares, and these particular ETFs are also optionable if we're interested in doing so. Again, you can find more information about who's in them, how they're weighted, all that fun stuff at the ETF provider's website. Again, that's just sectorspdr.com if you'd like to check it out. We're going to be on our scoreboard here, going to be using the sector ETF, but we're not ranking specifically just on what XLE looks like. We're looking at the stocks that comprise XLE or XLB. And so kind of how those things are coming together. We break our sectors down into 3 core areas. We've got the growth areas of the market. That's technology, discretionary, and communications, represented here in this blue color. The cyclical side, financials, industrials, basic materials, and energy, represented in this gold color. And then defensive, healthcare, staples, utility, and real estate, represented in this purplish, plumish, whatever color that is. Plum is what comes to my mind, but I don't know that that's right. So we're going to rank these, like I said earlier, based off of what we're seeing on the stocks within them. On this football field, as you can kind of see here, between the 40s is going to be in neutral territory, maybe with a little bit of a skew one way or the other, but overall neutral. Between the 40s and the 20s is slightly bullish or slightly bearish. Between the 20 and the goal line is bullish or bearish. It is extremely unlikely, although you never say never, that a plus or minus 3 would be very bullish or very bearish if we get into the end zone. It's not really who we are. It's certainly not who I am. And it's really difficult to put an entire sector that aggressive one way or the other, at least in my personal opinion. And it's very unlikely that you'll see it. And it's a certainty that you won't see it with any regularity here at Tackle Trading. Just like real football, right? If you're a football fan, you spend a lot of time. Once you get into the red zone, it's tough to punch it in, right? Spend a lot of time between the 20s, if you will, in football. But we are going to rank these each week. We'll talk you through kind of the thought process, why we upgraded, downgraded, maintained it in the video portion of the newsletter. It's a big part of what we're doing each week here at Tackle Trading. Those sector rankings are very important to the approach that we take here. And again, if you are unfamiliar with the sector Spyder ETFs, here are all of their ticker symbols once again. At the end of our meeting, we'll do a rapid fire. We'll just, each of the coaches will share their favorite bullish and bearish setup going into next week. Just a fun way to end our meeting and to share ideas with the team. We've got our own Team Tackle Discord available to all of our pro members. Come on over and join us. It's a great place. You can easily get set up right here if you are unfamiliar with Discord. Great little communication tool, fun way to be able to interact with your team throughout the trading day, throughout the trading week. Get questions, just have a good time, share ideas, always fun. Great to have the team over there. Certainly invite you, if you haven't had a chance to come over and join the Tackle Trading Discord channel, would definitely encourage you to do so and certainly invite you to do so. Friendly reminder to match the strategy to the situation, right? You'll also find some pre-built scanners. So if a particular sector has caught your attention, for whatever reason that might be, say energy has caught your eye here this evening, this will bring you to, once again, back to finviz.com. This will bring us to a pre-built scanner. I'm just going to hit the charts button here. These are what I call trader-friendly stocks. And what I mean when I say that is they've got really good liquidity, so it's really easy to trade shares. They're borrowable, so if I'm going short, I can borrow to sell short. They're optionable. Now, just because a stock has options, if you're an option trader, you know this, doesn't mean their options are particularly great to trade. Right. And that's certainly going to be the case in here. I'd say overall, most of the things in here are pretty option friendly, but there's some in every one of these that I personally would not trade options on, at least. But whether it's through options or equity, if I find something in here, I'm going to be able to trade it if I would like to do so. That's what I mean when I say trader friendly. Just give us some side-by-side charts so I can kind of come in and see if anything is standing out, right? Anything looking really interesting to me. Do I like the close on MPC? Do I, kind of ran a little bit here on the LEC here? Going to be 5 pages deep in this particular case. Anything jump out, right? I could never make a trade off of these little teeny tiny charts, but I can get an idea that says, this is interesting. While Valero is kind of, probably a little late in my opinion. What about 2 weeks ago when it had just broken out, right? It was easy to find. I did find it in there. So it can be a very easy way to quickly go through a lot of stocks to get some ideas. Sure. Hey, if I like the way this looks, I'll go do some real technical analysis on my own charting platform. I'm not going to try to make a trade off these little teeny tiny charts. Sometimes it looks better at a bird's eye view. Sometimes it looks great when I look at it on my charting platform. So just another way to be able to, look at a lot of charts really, really quickly to help generate ideas. Of course, we'll have that for all the different sectors. Just the world watch with the, all world, the emerging markets and the dollar index, and then a final note for the week. So that is the Tackle newsletter, always where we start. All right. We're also going to have the stock option Kamai report. Coach Mark does the Kamai report for us, does a great job keeping our team up to date with what's going on in the commodities world, from a fundamental perspective, a technical perspective, a thematic perspective, does a great job keeping our team up to date on what's going on in the world of commodities. He also does a great job. Not everybody trades futures and not everybody trades, gold contracts or crude contracts, right? And some people don't want to do that, and that's fine. I got no problem with that. Mark does a great job kind of highlighting ideas from an equity perspective as well. This could be a place where, copper is strong. Let's look at FCX or Southern Copper. So it does a great job of bouncing, actionable ideas, even if we're not trading specifically over on the futures exchanges. Definitely worth checking out. The stock and the option report are going to be built fairly similar to one another in the sense that we want to make sure that each week we have an actionable watch list of swing trade candidates, right? Whether we're trading options or stock or both, right? So we're going to be looking at the technicals, got a little, breakout here on Marathon Oil, a breakout here on Nutrien, got developing pullback here on Costco, a little breakout here, right? So both bullish and bearish, right? So we're going to have bullish and bearish candidates each week. These are swing trading candidates, and that's true whether it's the stock report or the option report. Where they're going to differ is in the stock report, we're kind of coming at it from a stock perspective. Now, you can always check the option liquidity, and if it's there and you'd be comfortable trading a strategy on it with options, that's great. You always want to check because it might be on the stock report simply because the options liquidity is poor, but the stock liquidity is perfectly fine. That might not be the case though, right? But you do want to double check. But in the stock report, we're going to talk a little bit more about the process, right? The technicals, entry techniques, stop loss techniques, management techniques, right? All of that fun stuff. Over in the option report, while all of those things are just as important, right? They don't get unimportant because we're talking options. We're going to talk a little bit more about strategy selection, right? This might be a case based off of the pricing of the options or the price of the stock or the personality of the stock or the sector or whatever it is, might be a place where it makes sense to do a poor boy covered call. Or why would maybe I choose a bull call instead of a bull put in this particular case? So talk a little bit more of the strategy selection side in the options report. And then, of course, the stock report, because in the stock report, what kind of the strategy is stock, right? We just want to make sure the team has good quality, actionable candidates in a watch list every single week, both from the bull and the bear perspective. We're scanning through hundreds of charts each week to find good quality setups for the team. Now, there's never a bad way to find a trade, and there's no shame in not liking it. If you don't like the way that Costco's pullback's developing, that's okay. I won't take it personal. I'm not Costco, right? It's okay. You don't have to like it, right? It's not about what you don't like. It's about what you do like. Maybe you do like it. Maybe you look at say, you know what, as long as we hold this little low here from last week, maybe we take out this high, I would be okay. Now, if it breaks through this, maybe I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to watch it from a flag perspective if that happens, right? But there's never a bad way to get a trade idea. So it's not so much about what you don't like, it's about what you do like and want to add to your watch list. And you never have to explain to me or anybody else why you don't want to add Costco or Lulu or Marathon or whatever to your watch list, right? Maybe you just hate Costco. Maybe you've already got enough exposure in that area of the market. Maybe you don't want to trade that area of the market, right? Maybe a lot of things, right? Maybe you just don't like the setup. Maybe you just don't like that chart. It's okay, right? It's always about what you do like. We just want to make sure our team has good quality candidates, swing trading candidates each and every week going into the upcoming week. A couple of things that you can do on these embedded charts here. You can hide the watch list just by smacking this button here. Smack it again, it'll come back. You can kind of size the chart, scroll your mouse up or down. You can hold the left mouse click down and back and forth. Same over in the dollar. So you can kind of get it sized out the way that you like. Right? We all kind of have an opinion of what that looks like. The default is daily chart, of course, through candlesticks. If you do prefer bar charts, very easy to change it over to bar charts. I know they're not too popular these days, but I still know a few people who prefer them. I am not one of them, though. You can change the time frame if you want to go take a closer look at the intraday. Let's see how this intraday looks, right? Maybe we're looking for a stop loss or for an entry, or maybe we want to look at the longer term chart, see where the bigger picture is on the weekly. So, you can do a little customization in there. You can add an indicator or two if you want to. Do be aware that it's not going to save them. So if you add, 3 indicators that come back later, they're going to be gone. They won't be coming back with you. So just do be aware of that before you, add a whole bunch of indicators. Your trend line tool is right in here. So this is where you can kind of draw your trend line tool. If you got a trend line that you're looking at, I know that's not particularly applicable, but just to kind of show you how that works. If I don't want it, I'm just going to select it, hit that trash bin. You can do the same thing with horizontal, right? Horizontal levels of support or resistance to get that up and running. You'll also find in this guy right here where you can prep out a long or a short trade. So since this is in the bullish side of things, go to the long here. And I'm not going to get too crazy here. I'm just going to say, for argument's sake, I want to go in above that high from last week. I'm just going to call it there because that's where my mouse was. What it's going to do is going to show me where a 1-to-1 trade would be. So if I got in there, I would need to get up to 625.84 with a stop at 568.54 to get 1-to-1 on the risk to reward. Every dollar I was risking, I had $1 per potential reward. Now I want to get at least 2-to-1 like most swing traders, right? And so I'm kind of thinking, okay, well, if this holds this low from last week, and it breaks this high from last week, basically, then I'm interested in coming into it. And I think, I look at Costco here, broke into all-time highs. I think we can target them, to 630 5, let's just say, or thereabouts, close enough. So what does that look like with my stop loss right there? $1.77 to 1. So I can kind of see, well, if I've got my stop loss below today. So I'm now making an assumption, right? If it holds, then it goes, then I can get in. Now, maybe you don't like that trade at all, and that's okay if you don't, right? And put a tremendous amount of thought into it. Just wanted to kind of show you this tool. It's really helpful. It saves you time. It helps you visualize the trade, lets you know, hey, the risk to reward's not there. It's not there, right? You can complain about it, but most of us swing traders have that 2-to-1 rule for a reason, right? We lose trades. We have to factor them in ahead of time. That's what we're doing with that 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So pretty handy little tool. Have it for both the bulls and the bears. Again, you'll find that right in this little guy right here. So that is the scouting reports. Again, we'll get these to you by Saturday afternoon, so you have plenty of time to get through, them as before the market opens back up. My suggestion is always start at the top of the market. So I'll always say start at the tackle newsletter, and then it's okay, your priorities, right? If you're primarily an option trader, you're probably going to the option report first. If you don't trade options, you're probably going to the stock report first, right? If you like to trade oil stocks and gold stocks and copper stocks, you might go to the commodity report first. It's okay. There's no wrong way to use that. As we get wrapping up here, just a couple of other things here. Our daily email is the Tackle Today email. You can sign up for that right here. If you just click on Tackle Today, very easy to sign up for it. Just a quick little daily thoughts, as well as the upcoming schedule and all the links and stuff for the upcoming day delivered to your inbox. You can also read that on this page. It will be delivered to your inbox faster, but if for whatever reason you prefer just to check it out here at Tackle Trading, you can do that as well right here in the Tackle Trading or in the Tackle Today link. The Huddle is the end of the week short podcast, just talking about the top 10 stories of the trading week. Quick, to the point, no bias, just, hey, what happened, right? What were the big things that were moving the market this week? Great little recap of the big stuff to make sure you didn't miss anything. Always fun to catch. You can catch that at that link. You can also catch it on any of your favorite podcast providers. Speaking of which, each week, Coach Matt, Mark, and Tim Justice do the Trading Justice podcast. You can find that over at tradingjustice.com or at any of your favorite podcast providers. It's a great, fun, very informative financial podcast. Very much would encourage you to incorporate it into your weekly routine. A lot of fun trading conversations happen over there and a lot of good stuff to learn. Again, that's the Trading Justice podcast, tradingjustice.com. There's also an awesome monthly newsletter they do at tradingjustice.com. Just so you know, this past one was on the volatility. They're in depth. They're super informative. I would strongly encourage checking out tradingjustice.com and catch that newsletter as well as the Trading Justice podcast. I think it's a really good addition to a weekly or a monthly routine. We are, of course, active on all the different social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, of course, YouTube here. So if you're using any of these platforms, certainly invite you to join us. If you're using YouTube, certainly do appreciate a subscribe. And if you hit that little bell, you know how YouTube works. It will alert you at any time we're going live or have added anything new to our channel. It certainly helps us, in the YouTube algorithm, and hopefully it helps you kind of keep organized in the sea of YouTube, which, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I find it can be a little, I can get lost. Oh, I wanted to watch that 3 weeks ago. So certainly hope to see you at any of these social media platforms if you are using them. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. You can find us at, email us, team@tackletrading.com. You can ask us in our traders lounge. You can hit us up in Discord. Lots of ways to reach out. If you need something, let somebody know. Everybody here is on the same side. We all want to see each other succeed in the market, right? I don't make more money if you don't make money. I mean, that's not the way the market works, right? So we all want to see each other succeed. We all got each other's back. We're all happy to help one another. And maybe I can't help you, but maybe I know somebody who can, right? So never hesitate to lean on your team. No one can make my trading decisions for me, but I don't have to trade alone. And I'm glad that I don't. I've done it. This is a lot more fun, in my opinion, at least. Of course, if you're a pro member, welcome to the team. It's great to have you. I'm excited to have an opportunity to get to know you, and I'll see you around quite a bit, I have no doubt. If you're not a pro member, I appreciate you checking this out as well, and certainly, wish you nothing but the best. And I hope I'll see you around our YouTube content and things like that. But do be aware, if you want to come in and check out what's kind of going on the back end here, We have a standing offer of free 15-day trial. You can find the link to that in any of the descriptions on our YouTube videos. Over in the store tab, send us an email. We can get you hooked up. You can take that trial, see if it's a good fit. If not, well, hey, you tried, and we'll see you on YouTube. And so, certainly something to keep in mind. But either way, appreciate everybody's time this evening. It's been my pleasure. I'll let you get out of here. But hopefully this gave you a better idea of who we are and what we're about at Tackle Trading. I welcome you to the team. Excited to be seeing you around. Never hesitate to reach out to me if you need anything. I'm always happy to talk trading with the team. So, and I think that goes for all the other coaches and community members here at Tackle Trading as well. We love to talk trading. So if you love to talk trading, you might be in the right place. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. You have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Have a great week, both in and out of the market. And I will hope to see you all again very, very soon, one place or another. But until then, good night, everyone.